This mutation is called Slow and Steady, and it is played on missed opportunities. We have 3 mutators active. We have Concussive attacks, we have Speed Freaks, and we have Time Warp. So, let us have a look at the Masteries. Our resident mutation soloist, Tutu, is using a 20-8 split into the Toxic Nest damage and healing mastery. Pretty much the optimal picks here. There's a certain breakpoint that he wants to reach with this, so it's very, very good. We have 30 points into the double biomass mastery, and then 20-10 split into the Toxic Nest charges and Morph Evolution Rate mastery. So notice here how he has gone for the double biomass mastery. Usually it is better to go for the symbiote, but there is a very good reason when you are going for the double biomass mastery when you are playing this prestige, which is B3 Abathur. Enemy composition is going to be a ground comp, which is also probably one of the most ideal compositions for B3 Abathur, because a lot of the enemy units are going to be ground units, and it does mean that these toxic nests are going to be getting a lot of good value. So, let us talk about these mutators a little bit. Concussive attacks, as you can see, 60 seconds. For 60 seconds after you get hit by an enemy unit, your unit will be slowed to, I think, about 30% of its movement speed. You have Speed Freaks, which means enemy units are going to be moving really, really fast, and they're going to be zipping around the map really quickly. And we also have Time Warp, which are creating these little Time Warp bubbles around the map. Now, one thing to note is that the scariest mutator on this map for this mission is going to be Speed Freaks. You need to be watching the minimap like a hawk. The harass waves that spawn for the harvesting bots move really, really fast. And if you're not paying attention, you will lose the harvesting bots, especially if you're dealing with enemy compositions like Shadow Tech and some of the ground Protoss compositions with Immortals and Reavers. Those things will just absolutely melt the harvesting bots. So you can see we have a Roach that is just trying to lure some more of these enemy units across, and he's going to be picking up some more of this biomass. And remember, the double biomass mastery is going to be very, very convenient for Abathur. This does not stack with the... I had a flow of thought there, but I kind of forgot what I wanted to say about the double biomass thing. There was something I wanted to say. Yes, I wanted to talk about like the double biomass that drops from toxic nests for enemy units that are damaged by these toxic nests. There is a chance that they will drop double biomass, and that mastery will be very, very useful when you're playing with something like P3 Abathur, because P3 Abathur does need twice the amount of biomass to be able to get his brutalists. You can see this one roach over here still going through. One other question that usually gets asked as well is, are the biomass effects the same? It is not. It actually says that, I believe, right here. Biomass is less powerful on the disadvantage, so your biomass effects are also reduced by 50%, so the amount of HP that you get and all the other stuff as well is reduced by 50%. So P3 Abathur in general is not a very good prestige to play for longer games, like especially on a mission like this when you're playing an auto-scroller mission where you cannot end the mission really quickly, and because the enemy composition is ground, P3 Abathur can shine, and you can get a lot of ultimate evolutions from P3 Abathur. But if you're rushing a mission, so say something like lock and load, the faster the mission ends, the less benefit that you will be able to get out of P3 Abathur. And you can see what's happening over here. Tutu has just basically created one roach, and he's stacking all his biomass on this single roach here. And the goal here is to try and stack your biomass onto single units until you can get a good number of ultimate evolutions out. So this roach is going to be doing just that. There's enough biomass now dropped on the map so that he can get his first brutalist out. And as soon as he gets his first brutalist out, all will be good for him. We have a spine crawler that is going to be clearing out these rocks as well. So again, Abathur not really in too much of a rush as of yet. And as soon as the next set of harvesting bots come out, he might have also a little bit of time to get some more toxic nests into position. These toxic nests are going to be absolutely vital for dealing with these enemy units. Now the Brutalist is going to be coming up over here. And again, look at how he's just luring with the Brutalist. He does not want the Brutalist killing the enemy units here. He wants those toxic nests to deal damage and clear. Now, the one thing to note, this is what I wanted to say. The double biomass chance, when enemy units are hit by the toxic nest, they drop double the biomass. When enemy units are killed by a regular unit, they will drop, the regular amount of biomass. And the double biomass mastery actually increases the chance that when your units kill an enemy unit, it would be as if they were hit by a toxic nest and they drop the double biomass chance. Now, if an enemy unit is killed by a toxic nest, even though the double biomass chance mastery is active, so say it procs on that, the unit will not drop 4 times the amount of biomass. It will only drop a maximum of 2 times the amount of biomass. So that is the one thing I wanted to say. It does not stack with the Toxic Nest buff that is obtained. It's just how the damage calculation works. If you are interested to know how the biomass drops work, the page on Starcraft2coop.com, Abathur's page, there is something that shows you how the calculations work. But basically, the maximum amount of biomass an enemy unit can drop is 2 times, and you get 100% chance for it dropping 2 times the amount of biomass if the unit is damaged by a Toxic Nest, and you get the double biomass chance percentage if it is killed by an Abathur unit. So we have a few queens over here as well. So we have some queens added to keep this brutalisk alive. We have another roach here, and now these Toxic Nests are going to be getting a lot of value as these units just jump over. The locusts are also stalling them a little bit, and there's going to be a lot of biomass available on this map. Already 519 biomass has been dropped, so Abathur should be able to spawn a second brutalisk out, which he'll be getting very, very soon. And we might actually see a 600 biomass drop there. So yeah, we have enough for a third brutalisk as well. So we have one brutalisk already here, second brutalisk already over here, and this is basically how P3 Abathur should be playing. Now I do know on the random queue it's a little bit more difficult to farm biomass because some of the co-op players are not aware that Abathur needs the Toxic Nest to damage units to get the biomass drops. So a lot of allies will try and prevent the Toxic Nest from killing stuff, and then usually just because they do not know any better. So it is a little bit more difficult in the random queue. But you can see over here, Abathur's Toxic Nests are just getting an insane amount of value. Now these brutalists are able to jump in, and you can see this is one of the issues here. Like, there are a lot of immortals, and imagine if those immortals just get onto a harvesting bot. That harvesting bot is as good as dead. 941 biomass has already been dropped on the map, so we should be seeing a total of 4 brutalisks out. But I think Abathur does not have enough roaches as of yet, so he has one more on the way. That roach is also going to be going to pick this up, but he wants to wait now. And he might actually be able to get maybe about 1,200 biomass from this. It's very, very possible. 1,050, and he's going to be running in 1,075 biomass with an extra from the stalker over there. So there we go. That is another brutalisk out. 4 brutalisks out so far, and there will be another roach being made, I believe. Yeah, we have 2 more roaches on the way, and now Abathur's brutalisk are just going to be running in here. And again, you will notice that this brutalisk is running through this time warp, and it's completely unaffected. Take a look how this Toxic Nest is affected by time warp. And notice how those brutalisks just walked through that time warp, and they were unfazed by that. And that is because there is a hidden buff on the brutalisk. It's a hidden passive called Frenzied, not to be confused with Frenzy. This is called Frenzied, and it prevents things like concussive attacks and time warp and all sorts of ensnaring debuffs from affecting brutalisks. So he's basically nullified the concussive attacks debuff, which is probably one of the more annoying mutators to deal with because you can just charge it now with these brutalisks who are completely immune to Frenzied. And I do not think even Abathur is going to bother with getting his Leviathans out. I don't think they're necessary. Getting those Leviathans, they are really cool looking units, but I think going for Leviathans when you're dealing with a purely ground composition is just really, really bad. Abathur is going to deep tunnel these brutalists across, and he may need to use one mend here to keep this one brutalisk because it will get focused down by some more of the enemy units. But again, that bonus objective is going to get cleared out, and basically Abathur has a choice. You can just A-click with these brutalisks and deal with that, or the other option is just drop a Toxic Nest and just move a Spinecrawler over. But I think he'll have enough time to do that as well. He's already sitting at a level 2 attack upgrade, his deep tunnel is already available, and this enemy attack wave is going to be moving in and will just get drawn by the Toxic Nests and the locusts that are spawned here. So the brutalisk have deep tunneled now across. They're going to go and deal with this. High Templar decides to transform the brutalisk and realizes it is not a wonderful idea. Spinecrawler is going to get deep tunneled, or going to get burrowed here, and that'll be the first bonus objective dealt with. Over here, after taking a little bit of extra damage, he needs to get his queens into position so they can start healing these brutalisks out. Next harass wave comes up over here, intercepts one of these queens, and the second queen might actually end up going down as well. Lots of storms coming down on these queens. One mend being used to try and keep these queens alive, and these brutalisks are doing pretty okay. The next attack wave has spawned here. The brutalisks do have a cleave attack as well, dealing a lot of splash damage. The brutalisks now are going to try and back up. Just try and get some more of these enemy units into these Toxic Nests. Just pick up some more brutalisks as well. So how many brutalisks do we have available? There's a lot of biomass available as well for Abathur. So Abathur is going to add some more biomass now onto his queens. This will improve the queen healing as well, and improve the regeneration rate. Lots of storms coming down from these High Templars as well, being a little bit annoying. But again, eventually Abathur Abathur's army is already strong enough to just completely strong arm Amon's forces. He's just completely unfazed here. Some toxic nests being used to spawn camp this eventual harass wave, and that is pretty much done. And now there's just a few more hybrids over here. Lots of biomass on the ground. 2,300 biomass has already been dropped on the ground. Abathur needs to go and pick this up. His biomass collection rate is actually not that bad. 1,600 biomass picked up out of the 2,300 that is available. And in production, we have some more queens as well. And yeah, you can see like it's very tempting to try and go for, mass brutalisk, but it's also very useful to just try and, get some queens with some extra biomass so that you can get a little bit of extra healing here. And there's going to be another attack wave coming up, and we have only one toxic nest available for Abathur. This one spine crawler is going to slowly poke away at the bonus objective. Eventually his bonus objective will go down, but Abathur just trying to prepare for this next attack wave, which is going to be moving in like a freight train. And again, there are a lot of hybrids over here that Roach needs to try and get out of the way as quickly as possible. You realize he's kind of in danger, and now Abathur's Brutalist is just good. They're just gonna pull back, and all these enemy units are just gonna run right into these toxic nests here. And now Abathur's Brutalists are just gonna pounce on these hybrids, and these things are gonna be dropping a lot of biomass. A total of 2,500 biomass has been dropped so far. Hybrids giving an extreme amount of value, and we are close to about 2,600 biomass dropped. And now Abathur's Brutalists are just gonna start charging in here, and there's another one on the way as well. He has to be careful. These immortals actually still deal a lot of damage to Brutalists. He's already at the level 3 attack upgrades, level 3 armor upgrades, I'm assuming, are on the way. Abathur, not really too heavy. He's not really too gas dependent, especially with this kind of build where he's just going for Brutalisk and Roaches. So that is also really nice. We have Glial Reconstitution, Incubation Chamber, Biomechanical Transfusion. He's gotten the Queen upgrades. He's getting the Roach upgrade as well. I don't know if the Glial Reconstitution is important, but it's going to be helpful for some of these Roaches eventually. So all in all, very, very good. So Abathur needs to move ahead now and start clearing out the next enemy camp. 2,800 biomass has been dropped so far. He's going to be able to hit, I think, 3,000 biomass dropped once he's cleared out all these enemy camps. So that'll be really good. And the pickup rate, yeah, 2,700 out of the 2,900 biomass has been picked up. So that's actually really, really good. And yeah, one of the things that Abathur players usually struggle with, especially when the game gets a little bit more hectic, is picking up all the biomass that has been dropped. Because, there are little spots here where you will see, like, maybe a few biomass balls that are just flowing around. But overall, Abathur has done a really great job picking this up. A very, very, very high biomass pickup rate there. So that's pretty much all the biomass that has been picked up so far. All is good. And now Abathur is just going to be setting up again his defenses, putting down some more toxic nests, making sure that these toxic nests are in the way of the enemy pathing. So notice here how these set of toxic nests are there to try and deal with the attack wave that moves up down this side. So one thing you can also do is try and spawn camp by dropping some more toxic nests over here. You can see this first attack wave is on the way, and one of the really nice things about these toxic nests is they do spawn locusts. So the locusts actually draw aggro as well, which is very useful in stalling the attack waves, because if this attack wave jumps onto one of the harvesting bots, that is pretty much GG for that harvesting bot. Again, remember the Brutalists also have deep tunnels, so use these things to your advantage to just try and stall these attack waves as much as possible. There's a few more drones over here as well, so some more toxicness dealing damage. All these immortals are going to be taken out as well, so that is also really good. The High Templar ends up going down, and now this harass wave is going to get intercepted by these Brutalists, and that is the full wrath of Abathur's army. So again, there's another Roach here. He's like, don't mind me, just picking up some more of these biomass for you. And yeah, there's a little bit here as well. Another harass wave has spawned. Now we have double harass wave, and this is going to be where it's going to get a little bit tricky. So over here, these High Templars will probably run into these toxic nests. Over here, the Brutalists have deep tunneled across to try and deal with that. And yeah, he's doing really, really well here. Tons of queens to keep these Brutalists alive, keep them healthy, because there are a lot of immortals here. These queens now are just going to come in and just pick up some more of this biomass. Again, another harass wave over here. There is some more biomass on this side as well. These Brutalists now are just going to charge in. You can just see the, like, take a look at that one Brutalisk. That Brutalisk had full shell and full HP, and its HP just dropped to about 50% as it fought like 3 immortals. Those things do an insane amount of damage. Do not underestimate how much damage immortals do to Brutalisks. Brutalisks are considered armored units, and immortals do deal. Let's see if I can try and catch them. They do deal 65 damage to armored units. They deal an insane amount of damage, but those are the Immortals cleared, and that was the Harass wave, I believe. I don't think the attack wave has spawned just yet, but I see the Abathur. There is just a few more biomass over here, but again, Abathur just wants to pick up as much biomass as he possibly can with his army, just by luring Amon's forces right into those toxic nests. High Templar is spazzing out, trying to storm Abathur's army, but Abathur just does not care. Another Brutalist is going to end up spawning right here, and this is actually really good. And again, very nice pickup rate for Abathur. He's sitting at about, he's sitting close to about 85% biomass pickup rate, which is really good. Again, there's a lot of biomass over here, so his army is going to be moving in. So is he going to be doing that right now? So let us see what happens over here. So Brutalists are going to start charging in right now, and he's going for this bonus objective, and this bonus objective will start to fall to the army of Brutalists over here. One Brutalist does get deep tunneled back and away from the. Did it survive? I think it might have survived. Let's have a look. Yeah, so no Brutalists got lost. That was actually a very nice deep tunnel of the Brutalist. He knows that his Brutalist was getting close to dying, so he does end up pulling his army back and just deep tunneling that way away from the Hybrid Dominator to make sure the Hybrid does not end up taking that out. Over here, there are a few Queens here. Unfortunately, that was an unfortunate F2, I think, that might have dragged some of these Queens in here, and some of those Queens do end up going down, but these Brutalists now are ready to deal with this next enemy base. I guess he might as well, right? There's no reason not to do that. Yeah, there we go. He's just going to start doing a full pincer attack here and clear out the rest of this enemy base. So again, there's a lot of biomass on the ground, and eventually I'd like to see them all being picked up, because I am a bit of a perfectionist here. But 4,900 biomass has dropped on the ground, and these Queens are just randomly moving across. Eventually, I think they will pick up a good chunk of this biomass here. So Brutalisk army just absolutely unstoppable. He's sitting at a total of 12 Brutalisks so far, and there is no end in sight. He's just going to be raining absolute terror on Amon's forces here. And you can see, he doesn't even need to supply block himself. He's not even supply capped. He's flowing a lot of resources. Just does not need the amount of healing that he has access to because of his Queens and his Brutalists are just absolutely ridiculous. They're just gonna completely steamroll this base here. So this base is eventually gonna fall, and a total of 5,000 biomass has been dropped so far. So I think, yeah, so we have a few spine crawlers over here and some more spine crawlers over here. So basically the goal of these spine crawlers is to just stall the harass waves. These harass waves move really fast, and again, because there are a lot of immortals, they are able to melt these harvesting bots as soon as they look at them. So very nice idea to just stall these harass waves, just buying you enough time to be able to get into position. And again, there are a few more units over here as well. As you can see here, this is exactly what the goal is of the spine crawler. Just stop the attack wave, give enough time for these Brutalists to get into position, and rotate his army. And again, there are also some very nice positioning of toxic nests here. Brutalists go to deep tunnel and just delete these immortals, and those are all these Queens that are just moving in along the map. And yeah, 4,900 biomass has been picked up. Again, another harass wave coming up here. They're going to run into these toxic nests. Brutalists deep tunnel across, try and intercept this attack wave before it takes out his Queens, because his Queens are a little bit squishy, and now these Brutalists are going to fast that probe moves. That probe just zipped right across the army of Brutalists. He goes like, nope, I'm not afraid. I just moved at the speed of light. He's gonna start putting down the pylon now. But yeah, another harass wave coming up over here. Brutalists already in position. They will be able to deal with this, and we have Queens as well on the back line, keeping these Brutalists alive with the help of Men's as well. Keeping all of these units alive, and actually really good. How many casualties are there? Yeah, 18 Queens have died, 7 Roaches, not really a big deal. The ones that really sting is when you lose your Brutalisk, because those Brutalists they do not drop biomass when they die as well. So that 50% biomass chance of 50% chance of dropping biomass does not happen. You can see again some more Zealots over here trying to swipe away at these spine crawlers, but again they stand no chance against the army of Brutalists that Abathur has created for himself. And now you can see he's starting to get overwhelmed. The micro is getting overwhelmed. He's starting to float a lot more biomass available on the ground. I think mostly from this little chunk over here. But again, these spine crawlers doing their job, stalling the attack wave while these Brutalists get into position and clear this all out. There's going to be a big attack wave that will be spawning over here. And yeah, Abathur's just going to go ahead and he's going to pick up some more biomass over here, getting some more Queens being converted into Brutalisks as well. 6,100 biomass has been picked up out of the 6,700 700. Really, really good pickup over there. I think another harass wave coming up here, but again, it's just gonna run face first into Abathur's Brutalists and just get completely obliterated by his army. And over here, this attack wave actually dropped. Is this attack wave? Yeah, this is an attack wave. And again, just run across the one drone trying to get out of the way here. And Abathur's Brutalists are already in position, and they'll have absolutely no problems dealing with this. And apparently these queens are actually been caught out right now, and some more queens are going to end up going down. Storm's coming up. Transfuse is coming up to try and heal the damaged queens. And some queens do end up going down as well. And again, lots more biomass available here for Abathur. Finally, that one Colossus ends up getting killed off. And Abathur is just going to be picking up some more of this biomass. He's going to try and pick up, I think, as much biomass as he can, doing really well here. And yeah, that is the last harvesting bot that has been cleared. And I think there's another biomass ball over there. And there we go. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, pretty good pickup right there. 7,000 of the 7,700 possible biomass that has been picked up. And in terms of total losses, 25 queens and 7 roaches. Slightly inhumane, but not really much of a problem. He did not lose a single of his brutalists. Ended up with 24 brutalists at the end of the game. And all the harvesting bots and both bonus objectives have been done. Stepman is happy, the whales are happy, and all is good. And that is GG.